So I received an email from one of you guys, one of my viewers, hopefully one of my subscribers. And what I want to do today is go through this email and I want to answer some of the questions and I want to kind of discuss some of the topics brought up within this email. I think there's a lot of really cool topics in here, some really cool questions, actually a lot of questions. I want to talk about them and spark some discussion with you guys and hopefully help this guy, hopefully give out some advice. So the email, we're going to go ahead and dig into it. Hello, Adapark. I love your channel. Figured I'd try shooting you an email to get your thoughts on something that's going on in the guild that I'm in. I'm an officer in, and then he lists his guild and then the server that he's on. I've been in the guild since Wrath of the Lich King. My guild leader and real life friend has decided that he won't be playing in Battle for Azeroth due to real life. Cool. My former guild leader has decided he's going to pass the responsibility of guild leadership onto a newer officer that's been in the guild less than a year. Little backstory on this guy. He was originally asked and promoted to be an officer by the guild leader to do recruitment. At the time he was promoted, he told the guild leader he would not be able to start recruitment until his schedule freed up about 3 months in the future. The guild leader said that was cool, and after 6 months, even though there was an immediate need, there was no change. Nobody had been recruited. He still wasn't doing anything, etc. It was quite aggravating since, like your guild, we've teetered on without the ability to have a stable roster, and we've only done 2 out of 11 Mythic and Taurus because of this, further along than we are. I have attempted to recruit people to transfer into the server and people that are on the server. Come to find out, our total population is, and then he says it's pretty low. He's an alliance player on a alliance heavy server, but it's still pretty low pop, less than 4,000 people. So back to the officer's promotion. I truly believe that my guild leader has made the popular choice on picking him. He's well respected and he's a great raider when he's there. If his schedule would allow, he'd make a good raid leader and a good guild leader, but therein lies our problem. Even currently, he's only able to stay online 2 hours out of the 6-hour raid week. The solution he is proposing is to change the raid days to accommodate his schedule to Sunday, Monday instead of our Tuesday and Wednesday schedule that we've had since Wrath of the Lich King. How do you feel about this solution? I personally don't think it will go over well and see 2 outcomes. Outcome A, the majority like it, they change it. I can't do the weekend raiding because of my kid. Option B, the majority do not like it. I tell him to give up the responsibility of guild leader, give it to someone that can do the job. If he doesn't, I take all those that want to raid on our current schedule and make our own guild. Scenario B does have a caveat for me, which is why I mentioned our roster issue before. I'm not entirely sure if it would be in the guild's best interest to stay on this server. If they want a chance at a stable roster to continue doing Mythic. With such a low pool to recruit from, and it is really low, I just don't see us being able to support a 25 to 30 man roster. The only time we're able to do Mythic currently is if everyone is on, but we have no backups, no replacements, and no extras on the bench. We started Legion with 30 to 33 people. We've lost people and haven't been able to replace those. How do you feel about our roster issues? What would you do? Would you ask the guild if they wanted to transfer servers? Would you push for him to give up the guild leadership responsibilities and run the guild yourself if the majority can't do his schedule? And would you do it even if they did not want to transfer servers to continue Mythic progression? If you've gotten this far, I thank you for reading through my ramblings. Keep up the good work with the channel. Look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, Ryan. So a few things before we get started here. For those of you that do email me, please, one, don't ever hesitate to email me. I guess I'd have to actually finish talking. Don't hesitate to email me. I love these videos. I love the emails. I love to do them. I have a couple of emails sitting in my inbox. I know I got to get to them. It does take me a little bit of time just because I have to write everything out and, it's scheduling, right? But I will get to you. I swear, I promise I will. Now, keep in mind when you send me these emails or you send comments on the YouTube videos that I post or messages in YouTube, please let me know if you want me to kind of call you out on stuff. What I mean is, I don't know if I should be calling this guy by his real life name or, by his character name that he listed below, or, should I be calling out his guild, his server? I don't know. Let me know, guys, because I don't want to give up too much information If you guys don't want to give it to me to give out, so please let me know. Now, let's talk about some of the questions because there are a lot of them. Oh boy. First, let's start with some kind of the warning for you and for anyone in this position. Your guild leader, former guild leader, is your friend. I'm going to say some pretty mean things about your friend. Please understand, and I think that you will, that I'm not saying these things to be mean. I'm not saying them to be malicious. I'm saying them to be honest and upfront with you. Okay? So please don't take it as me being a dick to your friend because I understand the shitty spot that you're in. Okay? Now, reading through your email, it seems that you are not happy, and in my opinion, rightfully so, with this guy getting promoted. He was promoted to do a job that he did not do. He set a schedule. He was upfront and said, look, I can't do this job for X amount of time. That time limit hit, and he said, I still can't do it. And he did not do the responsibilities. He did not handle his responsibilities that he was asked, he was told to do. At a certain point, and you have most certainly gotten to this point, it's not this guy's fault anymore that he isn't handling his responsibilities. It is your guild leader's fault. It is your friend's fault for letting him get away with it for so long. This isn't something trivial. This is something that I stress a lot about to you guys, and it's something that I worry about is, does the roster that we currently have, that you currently have, warrant the amount of leadership positions that we have available? Because I've always strived to maintain a kind of a, I don't know, like a triumvirate, I guess, of positions within the guild. One guild leader, obviously myself, and then 2 officers. Now, if we were down to 10 people and we had a stable roster of 10 people, do I need 3 people leading the raid? No, we can probably ditch it and go down to 2. If we had 30 people in the raid, I might want 1 or 2 more officers. Maybe somebody to help with the recruitment and guild banks, whatever. Divvy out the responsibilities. We've talked about it. But it is your guild leader's responsibility to make sure that the officers are doing their job. Think about if you go to work and you have your manager that just literally is doing nothing. At a certain point, it's her boss's fault that she's not doing anything. No longer her fault because she's gotten away with it for so long. And this is the case here. Your friend has fucked up. Okay? I understand where you're at with this, though. This guy is getting promoted. He hasn't done work. You've been working. You've been taking over some of his responsibility, picking up some of the slack. Now he is getting promoted to the rank of guild leader, guild master, because he's liked, maybe because he's popular. Not really the way to go about it. I'm not happy that your friend, that your guild leader is doing this. I don't support it. I think it's a bad decision. The bigger problem, though, is this guy, knowing that he's being promoted into a higher, a more senior level of leadership, is now wanting to change the schedule. He knows he has not been able to meet that schedule 66% of the time. So he wants to change it? That's bullshit, man. This is awful leadership. This is the prime example of awful leadership. Let me change everyone else around me to accommodate me, my schedule, my wants, my needs. No sacrifice on this guy's part, on the leader's part, in order to make sure that the guild, the raid, the job, the mission operates smoothly. Poor leadership on this guy's position. Now, he wants to change the schedule to better align with his needs. At the very least, there should be a sit-down discussion between you, this guy, and the rest of the raiding members of the guild to talk about this. Because I can guarantee you, if you can't do weekends, there have got to be other people in this guild that also cannot do weekends. So now you're asking to change the raid for one guy to accommodate and kind of ditch and give up a schedule that has been set that has worked for a handful of people that otherwise, including yourself, won't be able to play because of children, because of other responsibilities, because maybe they just have things going on those other days. It doesn't matter. Bad. at the very least, sit down and you guys need to chat about this, and it needs to be open and honest. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And my big issue is this: if it doesn't work, which truthfully it shouldn't be changed in the first place, he should not be the guild leader. I'm sorry, I have a problem with inactive guild leaders. When I had mentioned a while back in a video, and I can't remember which one it was, I'd said something about it being weird that your guild leader wasn't the raid leader. Somebody had emailed me or there was a comment. I felt that it was weird because I've always been in positions where the guild leader has been the raid leader or one of the raid leaders. And one of my officers had reminded me, hey, the guild that we were in before we came over here, the guild leader didn't do anything for leading the raid. He did other responsibilities. No, your guild leader should be there. He needs to be an active member, an active participant in the raid. What is his job if he's not leading the guild? And if your goal as a guild is to kill mythic bosses, and your guild leader can't do mythic because he can't show up because he's not having the skill, the gear, the time, the expertise to do it, what is he doing? Like, what's the point? That's the whole point of being in this leadership position, is that you are in the middle, in the thick of things. You can see everything and make decisions. This isn't going to be happening as it stands right now. Now, your roster issues. I will tell you guys, I have heard from a lot of people on my server, a lot of you guys, a lot of friends of mine on other servers, YouTubers out there that are doing World of Warcraft content. Recruitment in Legion really feels like it's non-existent. And I feel your pain. I really do. I feel your pain where you lose a person and 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 you gain a person. And it sucks. It feels like shit. My best advice is this: do not stop recruiting. And this is where your guild leader, your friend, failed. He brought somebody in to recruit that did not recruit. So what else was he doing? Why was he in a leadership position? Anywho, we're going back to that topic. We don't want to talk about it. Roster issues. Don't stop recruitment. Don't ever stop recruitment. Keep recruiting. Now, the question that you ask, should you transfer servers? It's something that you guys really need to think about. I think ultimately two things need to happen here. You need to schedule a time, sit down with this guy, this guild leader or soon to be guild leader, and your friend. And you need to go, look, here's the deal, guys. New guild leader guy, whatever, Steve, you're only on, a third of the time. Everybody likes you. We want you to play more, but you can't ask us, or I really don't want, or don't think it's fair, or don't like, it isn't right to ask people to change their schedules to accommodate you. And if you do, you're going to obviously lose people, including myself, a very active and prominent member and leader in this guild. Because I just don't have the time. I don't have the schedule to do this. I don't think that you should be guild leader. No hard feelings. I want what's best for the guild. And that's what you need to remember and where you need to come from. It's not about you becoming the guild leader. It's not about you, getting rid of this guy. It's none of that stuff. And don't think that I'm trying to point fingers or blame you for anything or accuse you of anything. But it's all about the benefit of the guild. And hopefully all three or the two other parties will see this and really wisen up and go, look, maybe it's not the best decision. Maybe he can find a job somewhere else. Maybe he can help join in a raid lead or do other things, handle the bank. But simply put, you need a more active person to lead a group of people. Now, if he doesn't want to give it up, yeah, I would definitely consider leaving. I would definitely, if he is so selfish to think that he can change the raid times and the raid days and not give any moment's hesitation or consideration for anyone else, then that's not a guild leader that you want taking control of your guild. I would definitely leave if that's the case. Would I transfer servers? I think it's something that, again, you need to sit down with the active raiding participants, the raiding members of your guild, and go, look, guys, here's the deal. Recruitment sucks. Do we, for BFA, want to level up new characters, transfer servers, whatever? Because we need to find a bigger population server that can accommodate and bring in the type of roster that we need, that we want for Mythic Raiding. But it all comes down to this. Talk to people. Sit down with people and be honest. Be open. Hey, we're in this situation. We're trying to make it better. Here are the solutions that we've come up with. What do we as a raiding group need to do? What do we want to do? Because there are some times where me as a guild leader, me as a raid leader, I'll flex that muscle and I will make decisions. I'll give loot to this guy over that guy, or, I'll bring this guy or not bring this guy that should or should not have come, because that's my right. That's my prerogative as the guild leader, because it is beneficial to the raid, to the guild. But there are other times where I can't be the one that makes every single decision, especially when it comes to the one thing that as a leader you do not mess with. Two things: people's money, people's time. We have no control over their money because, unfortunately, I'm not making any from World of Warcraft. However, you don't screw with people's time. And that's what this guy's doing, and that's what we want to avoid. So, what I would say, sit down with the group, talk to him, figure out what you want to do. If he's willing to accommodate, if he's willing to step down, cool. If he's not, you guys need to move on and make or find a better group to raid with. If you're looking for a raiding guild, I'm actively recruiting on my server. No, I'm kidding. Halfway. So hopefully that answers your questions. If it did not, if they were not sufficient, please let me know in the comment section down below. Feel free to email me. I'll answer any questions you guys have. Until next time, I'll see you.